Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to my bullet journal setup for the month of September. It's been a while since I posted one of these. The months of the summer were a bit crazy for me. I just never really set up my bullet journal in time to film and get it up. Also, I didn't really have that much time to just sit, prepare in advance, and then film, because the filming part actually does make the process a bit longer for me, especially since I don't have light and I have to film with natural light. So it kind of forces me to do this in the morning so that I can have some natural light. And sometimes I just have time at night. So that's kind of what happened. For the month of September, I kind of went with this sort of cottagecore inspired theme. I felt like the daisies or chamomile, not entirely sure plants I drew, but yeah, I felt like the flowers and the mushrooms were a really cool kind of way of symbolizing summer giving way to autumn. So that's my theme for this month. Also, I kind of went with something that had already worked for me, because this is the theme that I used to set up my second bullet journal for the year. So I had to transition from one notebook to the other, and that this is a theme that I use for those initial pages in my bullet journal. Didn't film that either, didn't have the time, sorry. I will have pictures of that on my Instagram, I believe, so if you want to see those, you can follow me on there. I'm at lunar.inspiration, so if you want to check that out, just go on Instagram, please. Yeah, so if you can tell, which I'm pretty sure that you can, I'm not the most perfectionist person when it comes to drawing the lines and the lettering, because my good old friend white gel pen just fixes things for me. So it's an easy way for me to just be chill while drawing and enjoying the process, because I know that I can just go in and fix any mistakes that are annoying me later on. So that's actually what I just do, both with lettering and with any kind of line. So yeah, my materials for today are essentially Crayola, SuperTips, and Tombow as usual, but I did replace the fine line with a gel pen. I just love the vibe of outlining things with red. I don't know, it just looks cool. I'm also working on Procreate a bit more lately, and for some reason I just outline everything in red, so that's kind of what inspired this too. And yeah, color scheme is pretty minimal. And I just wanted to make something that I really vibe with, and not just something that I thought people would like to see, because at the end of the day, if my bullet journal doesn't match what I want, I'm really not going to use it because I don't enjoy what I see. So yeah. Also, fun thing, I kind of changed my mindset when it comes to bullet journaling, because I realized that it wasn't working for me on a lot of things, because I just didn't use it, and I didn't realize why, and I just figured out that it wasn't the most practical thing for me to plan my day-to-day and to plan out my future in a way. And I discovered Notion throughout the summer, and I started using it, and I just realized that Notion is really useful, and it's in a lot of ways better for me to help keep track of my present and plan for my future, but I do not like it for the sake of like looking backwards, because it is something that's not physical, it's digital. I don't know if Notion is gonna be around in 20 years. Here you're gonna notice that I made a mistake. I wrote astrological instead of astrological. It's fine. Anyways, as I was saying, I realized that I like Notion a bit more to plan my future and my present, but I don't like to trust it as far as preserving my past or preserving past memories, because like I said, I don't know if it's going to be around. Who knows what's going to happen to digital stuff. So I'm mostly using Notion to keep track of my present and future, and the bullet journal I'm kind of using it more to keep track of things so that I can look back on them. So I'm mostly using it to like track down my present so that future me can look back on the past and understand what was going on. So I don't know if that makes sense for people, but that's the mindset that I'm going in for this month, and I like it way more. I don't know. I like the idea of having two tools, so Notion for digital things, and it makes it a lot easier for me to track down my life because I can just pull out my phone at any given moment, or I can use my laptop at any given moment and just track down things, whilst my bullet journal, I have to have it on me to track things. Does that make sense? And I don't always have my bullet journal with me. It's not always that easy. It takes a bit more time to track down things in my bullet journal. So Notion kind of helps that side of things. And that way I'm not replacing one thing for another. I'm just complementing one thing with the other. This spread, sorry, I'm talking about other things, but they make sense for this, I swear. And I thought it was worthy of mentioning, and maybe you would like to check out Notion as well, because maybe bullet journaling is not working as well as it should for you, and maybe this insight from me will help you. This sleep log and mood tracker is easily my favorite spread for this month. I don't know, it just looked so clean and cute. Again, fixing lines with gel pen. I am not, there's my head, I'm not in the mood for being such a perfectionist as I once was, which is really liberating. And yeah, which is also fun because in the past, like the whole writing astrological instead of astrological would have very easily been enough for me to not post this. But I thought, screw it. Perfectionism is overrated, and it's not possible even. So why worry about that? It's pointless, like wasting the footage of an entire bullet journal setup for one silly mistake. People make mistakes, it happens, we move on, and I kind of went with the red marker over it so it's not as noticeable. It doesn't look as weird in person. In the footage, looks like the red completely erases the pen underneath, and it doesn't in person, so it's just a bit more discreet. It's not as noticeable that the entire word is written wrong. For this month, I'm also changing my habit tracker. I went from a 2-page spread to just one, and I find that this one is actually, first of all, way easier to make, and second of all, it's cleaner. And I like it. It's not as busy. There's not so much going on. So I'm really liking this. And the page right on the right, which is getting back on track, just random trackers of things that I would like to have a bit more under control for the month of September. This is a bit inspired by something that I had going on in my bullet journal for 2021. In the later stages of 2021, I had this very sort of minimalistic approach to my bullet journaling. Like I was putting as much as I could as far as trackers into one page. So I was a bit minimal as far as aesthetics, and a bit maximal when it came to trackers and organizing things. And though it was a little bit crowded, it was super functional, and I loved it. So I'm kind of trying to bring that back a little bit more, and to not just use my bullet journal as something aesthetically pleasing, but use it as something that is functional, because at the end of the day, that's what it's for. So yes, for this page, like I said, since I'm using my bullet journal more as a tool of looking backwards on my life, I decided to go with this spread. I feel like this made a bit more sense than an affirmations and gratitude page, because that I can easily do on my Notion. Impactful quotes. I always love looking back on these spreads, playlists, and bookshelf, and things I did well and things I need to work on. I used to have a reflections spread, but I realized that when I just had reflections, I mostly only did what I did wrong. So I only wrote down there things that I did wrong, and I realized that, well, I'm being a bit hard on myself, so I split that into 2, because that way I'm forcing myself to write down things that I did well as well, and just recognize my efforts and how far I've gotten, which is lovely. Here I realized how much Notion kind of affected my aesthetic for this month's setup. Like, I pretty much set up this page kind of Notion style, like with the callouts for the weeks and things in like boxes that are very aligned. I don't know, it's just very it's very similar to my aesthetic on Notion, and it was really fun to do this spread because it was completely different from past spreads that I've done for weeklies. I've also went from just 1 week to 2 per spread. Want to start just but making the most out of the notebook and kind of making a better use of paper and not just wasting pages on things that I'm not going to use. So 2 weeks in 1 spread works perfectly for me, and I'm not just wasting my notebook on aesthetics, essentially. My goal is to, for 2023, only use 1 notebook for the year, and here is the final flip through. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and that I didn't ramble on that much. It was really fun for me to get back to this, and I hope to keep up with making videos for you guys throughout the rest of the year and throughout 2023. And if you made this far, thank you so much for watching, and bye!